we're here tonight is to celebrate us in the community of Spokane, Washington.
Juneteenth weekend kicks off in Spokane tonight, celebrating the pillars of the city's African-American community.
The weekend is here and I'm tracking breezy and mild conditions for Saturday, but much windier and a big cool down on the way for Father's Day into early next week.
There's a big schism in our generational passing on of knowledge.
Plus, Washingtonians react as the Supreme Court upholds a long-standing adoption law, what it means for Native families here and across the country.
KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now.
So I looked out the window, and there was actually what looked to be the origin of a real fire out here.
Well, fire season is definitely here. Tonight, a small brush fire burned about 25 acres in Spangle. That fire's since been contained. The fire chief says at one point the fire threatened homes, but they're no longer in danger. The cause of the fire remains under investigation tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Cody Proctor. Let's get started. First off, with wildfire season in mind, let's turn things over right now to meteorologist Michelle Boss in the Weather Center tonight. And Michelle, we're in what could be some heightened wildfire risks as we head into this weekend. What more can you tell us?
Well, we've had some breezy conditions throughout the day today, and it's going to stay breezy over the weekend. Fortunately, at least right now, the winds have come down a little bit. It was never really strong today, but we just had persistent winds out of the southwest from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. That did not help with that wildfire down in Spangle, but the winds have come down this evening, only about 6 miles an hour in Spokane, and actually a little breezy right now, 18 miles an hour, but we're just not seeing any higher gusts out there. Plus, the humidity is going up as we have a few light showers moving through, so mostly cloudy skies. It looks a lot more active on radar than it really is in Spokane. Only a trace of rainfall. Same with Deer Park and Coeur d'Alene, Moses Lake. It looks really wet out there, but they've only picked up a trace too. So very light sprinkles going on right now. 67 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 69 in Moses Lake, and lower 70s in Grand Coulee, 75 in Lewiston. A few more sprinkles possible this evening. Otherwise, we are looking at a pretty decent day tomorrow. 75 degrees, a little bit on the breezy side, but those winds will increase and dry weather expected for Sunday, much cooler with highs in the lower 60s.
Michelle, thank you so much. Meanwhile, an EF2 tornado ripped through parts of the Texas Panhandle yesterday afternoon. That's according to preliminary reports from the National Weather Service. That tornado ultimately killed 3 people, including an 11-year-old boy. Metal and wood buildings didn't stand a chance as winds up to 135 miles per hour tore through Perrington, Texas. You can see just a bit of that damage in its path. A mobile home park that officials say took a direct hit. Many of the homes reduced to twisted piles of debris. Some went up in flames. One man recalled the events as he picked out what little was left of his home.
The tornado was going that way, and I didn't know what had happened. I was worried about my mom. I couldn't get my truck out or anything, and once I saw her alive, I gave her a big ass hug. I was tearing up. I'm just glad she was alive.
The boy killed was this man's cousin. A U.S. government agency has been caught up in the latest ransomware attack coming from overseas. At least one major U.S. government agency and several private institutions fell victim to cyber criminals who are demanding ransom for stolen data. Targets include the Energy Department as well as Johns Hopkins affiliated hospitals in both Maryland and in Florida. The hackers infiltrated a popular file sharing app called Move It to gain access to the sites.
This Move It file transfer app is widely used because it makes securing data so convenient. It makes it easy to move data in a way that's encrypted.
Officials say a Russian hacking group's behind the attack. U.S. officials say there's no evidence the hackers coordinated their attack with the Russian government. That nationwide data breach also impacting people in Oregon tonight. According to the Oregon Department of Transportation, the personal info for more than 3 million people may have been leaked. ODOT says they can't identify if a specific person's data was breached, but if you do have an Oregon license, you should assume you're part of the breach and monitor your personal accounts. Officials confirm this breach is connected to the nationwide cyber attack. The gunman responsible for the deadliest attack on Jews in American history found guilty. Now, you may remember back in 2018, 50-year-old Robert Bowers shot and killed 11 people inside the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. During the trial, prosecutors presented evidence of the shooter's deep-seated animosity towards Jews and immigrants. Today, community leaders reacted to the verdict.
I am feeling a sense of relief that after 4.5 years, the world has heard again about the horrific acts on October 27, 2018, and the shooter is being held accountable for those awful acts.
Jurors must now decide whether he should receive the death penalty for the 2018 attack or be sentenced to life in prison without parole. The penalty phase is scheduled to start next week. Now take a look at this. The U.S. Coast Guard rescued a dog after she fell from a cliff at a state park in Oregon. Coast Guard Air Station Astoria says its members rescued a German Shepherd after she fell off a cliff and was hurt 2 days ago. Authorities say that dog fell some 300 feet at a secluded area of Cannon Beach and could only be reached by rappelling down the cliff or by air. And don't worry, that dog is in great spirits and doing well tonight. New tonight at 10, the Inland Northwest Juneteenth Coalition hosted the 10th Annual Pillar Awards. The ceremony recognizes community trailblazers and leaders inspiring progress and change. KREM 2's Janelle Finch tells us more from the kickoff to Spokane Juneteenth celebrations.
Tonight, the black carpet was rolled out for individuals and organizations that are uplifting the African-American community here in Spokane. Tonight's event serves as the first of many Juneteenth celebrations this weekend.
The winner of this award is Fresh Soul.
Most community service leaders would say they don't do the work they do to be recognized. So the Pillar Awards creates a space for Spokane's pillars to be celebrated.
We want to acknowledge them and let them know we see them and we appreciate what they're doing in the black community. So that's what's so great about the Pillar Awards.
I am black, and black is beautiful.
This is only Juneteenth's third year of being celebrated as a federal holiday. But 2023 is the 10th year for the Pillar Awards. Inland Northwest Juneteenth Coalition co-chair Michael Bethley says it's gratifying to see Juneteenth recognitions grow by the year.
It's awesome to see the people who are rallying around once they find out and understand what Juneteenth is and what it stands for. It's a big deal because history, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it, and we don't want to repeat that.
He says the Pillar Awards are more about the community than the actual awards.
To come together and to celebrate and to build community together, that's the biggest thing, that's the most beautiful thing, and I hope we continue to do it over the years to come.
Awards were given out to an individual, nonprofit, business, and church. Winners included Keonta Duncan, Fresh Soul, The Learning Project, and New Hope Baptist Church.
And like said, this is just one of many Juneteenth celebrations happening in our community this weekend. Tomorrow, the MLK Center is hosting a celebration in its parking lot beginning at 11 a.m. For more information on what's happening in Spokane this weekend ahead of the holiday, visit our website, KREM.com. From the Fox Leader, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Janelle, thank you so much. And looking ahead, this Monday is Juneteenth. It is a federal holiday, so there are some closings happening around our region, so keep that in mind. All Spokane and Spokane County libraries will be closed, but the Coeur d'Alene Library will be open. In both cities, garbage pickup will be on its normal schedule. Street parking in downtown Spokane will also be free. Riverfront Park attractions and Spokane City golf courses will be open as well. Now, for a full list of Juneteenth activities taking place in the Lilac City, just head over to our website, KREM.com. Now to Night Beat for a quick look at the day's top stories. Members and guests of the Prairie Falls Golf Club in Post Falls are about to get some new amenities at the quaint neighborhood golf course. The club's just weeks away from the grand opening of its new $10 million facility. The two-story building will serve as a hotel with 17 rooms, along with event and retail space. You'll also find 6 golf simulator machines and a restaurant called Ironwood and Ice. The grand opening of the facility is set for July 7th, not long. Avista customers in Moscow, listen up right now. The company is planning 2 power outages starting next week. Those outages begin Thursday, June 22nd at 11 p.m. and end at 5 the next morning. Avista says a total of 548 customers will be impacted. Contact Avista if you have questions or concerns. Finally, with summer travel here, many Americans are finding it difficult to renew their passport. Now, Idaho Senator Mike Crapo and 13 others are sending a letter to the U.S. Secretary of State urging him to take action to resolve a backlog of passport applications. The letter cites reports from Americans regarding issues and concerns with delayed wait times and a lack of available in-person appointments. According to the senator's office, they've processed more than 50 caseworks on this issue, things like complaints and people seeking help, which they say accounts for a third of total caseworks across all federal government agencies. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, text the word night to 509-448-2000. We'll send them right to your phone. And that was also your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. However, don't go to bed just yet. Coming up, a new Washington law designed to help protect families faces criticism. Why some say it may actually put children in danger.
Seeing the trauma that's created in our communities and the repercussions and the generational trauma.
Plus, local tribes are reacting to the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling. More on the decision impacting Indigenous families right here in Washington. I'll be back in 90 seconds.